I can't give a false image when that is the image that I want to give. I don't want to lie about my intentions on stage and what they are. I want them to be really, really in your face and confrontational, because I like that sort of provocation. This is Loud Culture Media, and I'm the Marquis. Basically, the way that I work, I think mentally, is creating an image and a feeling with audio. Currently the only full-length album I've released, which is Unsatisfied. I created it in mind. You can hear a lot of cinematic elements, but softer. I was sort of experimenting with synth for the first time. Wasn't really able to create the images that I had in my mind, which were much heavier, much darker, and I feel now, after some years of experience, more sampling now, less synthesizer, I'm able to sort of reflect images that I see in my mind of space or texture. It's not necessarily telling a story, but it's more reflecting an image that I see, whether that's a concrete room or a feeling in that space. And I think that's why I move more towards samples, because if you have literally a sample of a large metal door being slammed, it gives the impression of a large metal door being slammed. Overall, it would be Pornography by The Cure. My late teens getting me into this sort of heavier side of post-punk. And then I guess, another big influence for changing point in my life was Low by David Bowie. Significant change in the way that I saw music and how it could be made, and every genre can be whatever it is. And that's probably like a good basis, those two, for me. In the last 5 years or so, the big ones would have been like In the Name of Suffering by I Hate God. That's, kind of was a big introduction to like really heavy sludge. And then A World Only by Fire by Godflesh, 2014. That was like a huge, I don't know, I was always just like, it can't be heavy enough, it's not heavy enough. And then I heard that album and I was like, oh my God, this is like almost heavy enough. It was in the process for, I would say, 6 months, mental process. I was talking with Camille, we're longtime collaborators. We've been collaborating on stage for years, and also in videos. We've done, now with Poison, 3 videos together. And we had experimented with many different things on stage, with specifically the bag. We did as a human sous vide, so we made a large 8-foot by 8-foot bag, which we made a performance called Asphyxiation. It actually didn't take that long. I think it took like a week of really hardcore post-production editing between me and Clayton from False Idols, and then had it out on post-punk within a few days after that. So the whole thing came together really quick, and Camille I'm really at ease working with. It's been years, and we really have complementing, I think, preferences in terms of image and aesthetic. I think we rocked that out pretty quick and efficiently, and I'm really happy with like how it turned out actually. I often get inspiration from novels and movies, and that sort of gets the ball rolling in my head for songs or whatever. I got really engrossed in a Kingdom Come novel by J.G. Ballard. It's the novel about sort of suburban dystopia, a suburb which is in Heathrow, just outside London, just so bored that they create violence, like hate crimes or football brawls outside of a stadium. That idea sort of got this album rolling where I'm talking about the hatred of this middle class who is so bored that they literally create things to get angry about because they have nothing else to do. The album's pretty heavy. It's the heaviest I've done. It's also coming out on Aufnahme und Wiedergabe sometime, hopefully spring, summer. I would never be afraid of exploring any corner, you know, and that's when, I think that's my most powerful stuff comes from. There's a song on the new album called Formaldehyde, which is one of the darkest, heaviest songs on the album. I'm really excited for people to hear that one. That's definitely the angriest I've ever been, and that was a moment when I like got out a few demons, and that was, I think it's good. I think it's a good thing. You know, I get it out of my system and I can explore it and then have it there as a artifact of like a time. I think it's a healthy process. In 2017, I did my first tour of Europe, and I started in Berlin. Then last year, I went with Autumn Melody on tour in Europe, and then I actually stayed and lived in Berlin for like 4 months. I did a few shows here and there in Europe, and I came back and chilled in Berlin and met people and played a few shows in Berlin too. I played like 3 or 4 shows, and you know, I was there with my partner, and she had been living there for quite a while and wanted to come back to Berlin after, because we both had to go back to Montreal, and we sort of like decided there that we were like, this is good, this we can make this work. We're gonna go back, put all of our time and energy into getting back as soon as possible, and next month that's what's happening. There's this sort of ethos of being open to like the hardcore side of things in every aspect, you know, like it's a place where you don't have to be shy about wanting to be a little bit shocking. For whatever reason, it seems for a long time to have been a place where you can go and sort of explore the dark side of life. Maybe black humor is a way to describe it. You know, you can laugh at the sort of shitty side of things and explore that. In my performances, in my music, there's a lot of people who I think connect with that, who are in Berlin, because I met a lot of really cool people who wanted me to play another show and wanted me to be there and wanted to collaborate and all that stuff, and that was one of the big reasons as well why I wanted to stay there, because it felt really a good community for me. Thanks for anyone who likes the Marquis. Thanks for supporting what I do. It's always super appreciated. And you know, for those of you in Europe, I'm really excited to come and play for you guys.
Alright, thanks a lot, man.
Cheers, thanks dude.